What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'll be your host today. My name is Nick Scarpino. With me is Joey Noel, sitting to the right.
Oh, hey, what's up?
And Andy Cortez.
To your immediate left.
To my immediate left. Rounding out the table, Andy Cortez.
Hey, guys.
And over there producing and directing, over there is Kevin. Kevin, how's your bumhole? How's it going?
Why are you asking about my
I'm referencing the pre-show so that people who don't support us on Patreon go, what is he talking about?
Fine.
You guys can see this amazing moment on the pre-show where Kevin fell for the first time in the studio. And it was like we took a moment where it was like, did you guys ever see JFK starring Kevin Costner back into the left? But where they analyzed the footage of it over and over again.
Yeah.
That's what we did
I saw
for a
it in
moment.
middle school, actually.
It was
just to be clear, it was not recorded.
it was not recorded, but our reactions to
live
it were recorded.
reaction.
I'm sure you can hear it, though. I'm sure it came through on the audio. Because it was just like a loud and I just see like feet
it
flying
sounded like
up in the air.
Somehow it sounded like him falling and also going whoa 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 for like a good 5 minutes. I was like, what's he doing
It
over there?
sounded like a cartoon for sure.
Honestly, yeah, it did. It really did. Because I went, whoo!
And what's sad is that Kevin, you can tell Kevin's pride is a little hurt because he has prided himself on never having fallen in this studio before.
Yeah.
It's never happened.
He clotheslined
It's the heat,
himself
guys.
earlier today.
It is the heat. It probably is the
A
heat,
little hook?
actually. Everything's
Yeah,
all...
we're delirious, Kevin. Our depth perception is off. We don't really know.
I mean, I'm sweating through these socks.
Yeah.
Being honest.
Here's the thing about this. We'll get back to this, but let's put a pin in that. Before we do, I do want to give a quick shout out to those of you that do support us on Patreon, and those who support us as our producers. This week, our Patreon producers are George Lopez, Mark Starvaggi, Kieran O'Donnell, DJ Kento, and Sam Davis. If you all want me to read or Greg to read your name on the next podcast, KF podcast, and give you guys a shout out for being Patreon producers, go over to patreon.com/kindoffunny and back us at that tier. And if you guys just want to get the show early, ad free, and be a part of the pre and post show, you're going to want to be a part of the pre and post show. You guys,
Even if it's just for this one, man.
even for this one, you're going to want to hear that one. That was really fun.
Do you want to be a part of history? That's
Do you
want
to? Yeah, that was history. Be on the right side of history.
When I heard the fall, my immediate thought is...
But Kevin fell through the wall.
No,
That's
my
what I
immediate thought
Kevin
was...
fell through a wall.
Something was dropped.
Yeah.
I thought it was something having to do with Portillo.
Yeah.
He's wandering around.
I just thought something was dropped. Maybe him and Barrett are carrying something and it slipped out of their hands or whatever. But then I hear the thud and I look over and I see I see past the door frame. All I see is like kind of bottom half and legs kicking up.
I saw his cute little peg socks, and they were like 3/4 of the way up into the air down the door, in the thing. It was just so fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
And then it hit me like, wow, I was here for it.
Yeah.
You were
In
here
the
for
next
it.
80 years, when I'm no longer alive and I'm dead and I'm in heaven, I'll be thinking, wow, I was there for that moment.
You were.
Right?
No one else was.
No.
Like, where were you when
history
Mark
was made?
McGwire and Sammy Sosa were roided up, hitting home runs everywhere?
I was in
Elementary school.
I was probably in Orange County going to college at that point, or maybe I was still in Riverside in high school. What year was that? When were the Bash Bros?
No, this is way earlier. No,
90s?
It was like
you were
late
like in
90s?
high school. You were maybe in middle
Mid-90s?
school.
What
Maybe.
year are we talking?
I'd say, I was maybe 8 years old. So
Kevin,
maybe
Google
like
the Bash Bros.
95?
no, it's not the Bash
96?
Bros. I'm talking like later than that.
Oh, that's the later when Mark McGwire was
yeah,
just
Mark
like.
McGwire and Sammy Sosa.
And they were going
Before
back and
Sammy
forth.
Sosa became a white guy.
That's fair.
Before he started dyeing his
That's
skin.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably in high school.
This is like 95 maybe.
Yeah, that was high school then.
Yeah.
That was high school for me.
Wow, really? Fuck.
Yeah, dude, I'm old.
Well, no, you know what? No, that makes sense. Because I don't know why I'm assuming that middle school is like 10 years. It's not. It's 3.
No, yeah. Middle school's 2, wasn't it?
6th, 7th, 8th.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh, we had 7th and 8th.
Oh, okay.
Dang, that's crazy.
Look at Sammy Sosa's skin. Bring this up. This is crazy, dude.
I would also like to see creepy Sammy Sosa dabbing.
He did what?
That's
What
the
is-
headline.
does
Creepy
the-
Sammy Sosa does the dab in
Oh,
London.
wow.
Is this a
I
real
assume that
thing?
means
Is,
like a dab.
Yes, this is a real
is he
thing.
lightening his skin on purpose?
Yep.
That's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
You never
He
want
doesn't
to see
even
that.
look at. Oh, I don't like that.
He just doesn't look. It's crazy.
God, he looks so much better with the tan skin.
It's
That
crazy,
naturally
dude.
beautiful tan skin.
Baseball been very, very good to me.
Oh my goodness. A couple housekeeping things, of course. It is E3 week, so make sure you guys check out, or it was E3 week, I guess. When does it go live? Friday?
Friday.
When did it go live for Patreon people?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Fantastic. It is
Or
E3
tonight, I
week, so
guess.
make sure y'all go over to our other channel and check out all of our awesome content that we've put up. A lot of cool reacts to all of the conferences. And then, of course, Greg and Tim are down in LA. They're going to be doing games casts every day. And then also, if you want, make sure you follow Tim and Greg. They're going to be out streaming a couple things with GameSpot and a few other people. So double check that for timing. I'm not sure when the Battle Rig thing is. They're doing, I think it's Thursday night. Is it Thursday night? Yeah.
You can go to kindoffunny.com/E3 to get
there
the full
you go.
schedule.
There it is right there. And then, of course, I think they're doing a meet and greet as well. So you guys can check that out. Make sure you
They're
go
gonna
out.
be partying with all the celebs.
Well, here's the deal. Wait, before I get into that, also, if you guys are listening to this, if it's Wednesday, June 12th, I am back at Cobb's Comedy Club. You can go to cobbscomedy.com. Check it out. It's the June 12th Stay Silly Comedy Showcase. I'll be there with a lineup of great comics if you want to come out. I think Joe's going for a cocktail. I'm buying cocktails.
It's so now I have
I'm buying
Portillo.
drinks.
It's so hot.
I'm buying you drinks.
Okay.
Just expense the whole thing.
Okay.
Whoever you sit with, just get rip-roaring drunk.
Me
You
and Gia,
deserve
man.
it. It's going to be a nice
Is there air conditioning
yeah.
there?
It's going to be a nice
wow.
air-conditioned
Ooh, it's
Cobb's Comedy Club.
air-conditioned.
Whoa,
Oh,
Joey
Very
did. Joey
air-conditioned.
did. I
Yeah.
might even go next.
You should come. You should come. And then, of course, this episode of the Kind of Funny podcast brought to you by Green Chef and Upstart. But we'll get to those ad reads a little bit later in the show. Yeah, Greg and Tim, here's the thing. They eat this up. They eat E3 up. They like working real hard. They like being tired. They like everyone to see them stressed out. And then they go down to LA and wow, no time. Everyone's got no time at E3. Oh, I'm so busy. Everyone loves being so busy. What it really is just an excuse to get together and drink come 5 o'clock. Show floor's done. Can't do anything else. Let's go drink at the Fig. Oh, let's go to this exorbitant dinner. Let's do this. Let's do that. And that's really what the fun of E3
I'm so
is.
fucking sad we're not there. You know why? Because
No.
one of my favorite meals of my life was us going to that steakhouse after last year's E3.
Which steakhouse? Oh, Fleming's?
Yeah.
Fleming's.
That's one of my favorite
That's
places.
one of the best
Fleming's
meals
is
I've
so
ever
good.
eaten in my life, dude. And every day since then, I've been thinking, man, I can't wait to go back to E3 for some more Fleming's
I'll buy.
action.
Well, there's some Fleming's up here. We can go.
Is there?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
go. It's in
Downtown?
Palo Alto.
Oh, that's too far.
Well, there's Ruth's Chris in the city as well.
God, it was
but Fleming's
so
is
good.
my
Prime rib.
House of Prime Rib's
Everything
good
was
too.
so good,
Epic
dude.
steak. There's
Epic
plenty of
steaks
good
are
steak
really
places
good.
here.
Now that was really fun. So here's the origin of that. Right back in the day, me and my buddy Brennan used to be the heads of production and post production for IGN, and every year the managers would kind of give us shit for wanting to take the team out to a nice dinner, and we'd take the editorial team would go out and they would never have enough seats and they would never account for video, and it's always a shit show. So we always would tear off and go, hey, we're just going to take our team out to a nice dinner, and we'd make reservations at like Fleming's and just rent out one of the rooms, and we'd get 20 people there, and then inevitably a couple people from editorial would tack on and all that stuff. And Fran would always give me so much shit about how much it cost. Mind you, we've just worked from, I used to go down to E3 like Friday night.
Yeah, because that's all the setup. And
It was
everything.
just like, yeah, I'd go down Friday night so that Saturday morning we could start loading in the set so we could be ready for that. And then when the conferences got pushed even far back, we'd have to go Friday morning or Thursday night. So I'd be at E3 all fucking week down there, just burning it out and killing myself, as with the entire team. And what people don't understand is like when that, and Barrett can attest to this, when you hit Thursday, you're so fucking tired. You have worked probably a solid 14 to 16
And you're
hour
not
day
sleeping at
every
night.
fucking day. You're not sleeping because you're going out and
2 or
partying.
3 hours of sleep, maybe.
Because that's part of it, is networking and making sure people in
Yeah.
the industry know you. And if you're just a young up and comer and upstart at a place like IGN, you want to get out there, you want to meet people. It's part of the, it is the center point of the entire video game industry. And if you're a fan of that, or if you're someone who just really enjoys the industry, you're going to want to get out there and meet all the luminaries that are just wandering around at parties. Plus, it's just really, really fun. But so, yeah, we used to do that. We used to piss Fran off because he'd have to figure out how to expense it. And because we used to do like per diems at IGN were like, I think it was like $100 a day. And then they decreased that, which like if you're in LA at the LA State, like the convention center, you're not really like that's actually pretty hard to hit, if you're trying to get a decent meal in you. So you have to basically either eat fast food or you're not eating.
Yeah.
And then they decreased it further. I think it was like $50 a day when I left, and I was like, I can't do this. So we'd have to figure out how to get like $50 per person. Like that would be their whole meal for the day. And then we'd have to accidentally add like a bunch of PR people. Like that's how we'd have to get around it. And Fran would be so pissed. It's like, I can't tell I can't tell the higher ups that you guys spent all this much money on dinner. And I'm like, dude, we just had a record breaking E3 for us.
Yeah.
Most of that was video sales. We killed it. We got the live shows. This is like right around the time we used to start doing the E3 live show with the big sets and the cranes and shit like that. And Fleming's was the place we would go. Me and Brennan loved Fleming's, and we would just at a certain point we did it just to piss Fran off. Because I was like, what are you gonna do? You gonna stick me with a $2,000 bill? Like,
You're not going to do
you're
that.
not gonna do that. And Fran was always like, well, fine, I'll figure it out. And he would figure it out because that's what you got to do. You got to go to bat for people sometimes. But that's why when we did our first big E3, because we went. We've gone the last like few years, but last year was the first time the whole team was down there. And like you guys were all down there. I was like, let's fucking do Lemmings.
Dude, it was
Yeah.
incredible.
And we did it, and I've never felt so good about
Andrea
just
was
dropping the
fucking
car
lit,
down.
dude.
Oh, Andrea was
Andrea,
lit. Tara
Tara,
Bruno. Now, to be
Steimer.
fair, it's possible that they were at a table before we were there.
No, they were.
And we were ordering them drinks when they were done with dinner. And then after that, I said, come over to the table and come drink with us more. Andrea was lit.
Oh,
Like a
it was
Christmas
great.
tree.
Tara put
God
something
bless her.
blue down in front of me. She's like, "This is for you." I was like, "I don't know what this is."
Yeah, you gotta
but
go.
I'm not gonna tell Tara that I'm not gonna do the
It's
shot.
a meal that I knew how full I was.
Yeah.
And I knew that I shouldn't eat anything more, but everything was so fucking good, dude.
So good.
Like all the sides, there wasn't one thing there that I was like, this is fine. Everything was perfect. And I've just been dreaming about it.
Well, Andy, let me tell you something.
What's up?
What if I would tell you that we're going to a very similar place for a team dinner at RTX?
Awesome. Fuck yeah.
Oh, the RT. Are we going to that fish place?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So it's I don't even remember what it's called now, but it's like a steakhouse
dude,
and seafood.
you know what it is. It's like
A lot
right on
of
the
shrimp.
corner of
Really
right
good
by
shrimp.
Frank's. You know when you walk by the Frank hot dog place as you're walking. You know that.
It's like a nice place?
You know
Yeah.
you know where the VIP party
yeah.
is or
Yeah.
the RTX party.
Yeah.
In the catty corner to that, there's a place, the fish market. You walk in, all the waiters are wearing like white tuxedo jackets, like dinner jackets.
I've never been there.
Dude, we went last year and it was so fucking good. The service was excellent.
Oh, that's where y'all went when I went with my family.
yeah. You went off with your family.
That's what's so dope. My family not going to be there this year.
oh, fantastic.
So
You're gonna-
because for
you
the
can be
next
friends
week-
finally.
Well, you're also going to have to. Sorry, but I won't be there for KFAF
called
the
True
following
Lux.
week. True Lux. Never heard of it.
It's real good.
Oh,
My
I'll
Gia's
sub
friends
someone
used
for
to
that.
work there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the maybe we can film something in RTX.
We should film something at
Yeah.
RTX. That's the thing. Like we have all the people there. We should absolutely film something. We should start wrapping our heads around that now.
Are we taking camera equipment?
No, but I mean we could. We have no. I'm sure we could also borrow a camera from RT.
No, their camera's
It'd be
not.
cool if we.
Like just fucking give us a camera, bro.
What was I going to say?
or we could actually maybe we can hire someone there. Because that'd be fun. Because that's the thing. The RTX and E3 are very distinctly different shows for us. Yeah. RTX, we get to go and be personalities.
Have
We get
fun.
to go have fun. The panels are not hard work. It's us fucking rebel rousing,
It's
like
not like
trying to
we're
invade other
not
people's
interviewing
panels.
Henry Winkler.
No, which was stressful
And
because
neither
it
did
didn't
you.
happen. But what I'm saying is like E3. How dare you? How fucking dare you?
Baited
Why
into
do you
that one.
why do you bring this? Why do you bring up my biggest failure in
What was
front
I
of
gonna say?
everyone?
Yeah, so like my family always does this thing where it's like, oh, you're coming to Austin, let's drive up to Austin. We'll
See
stay at your
you.
aunt's house. You'll come over. It's gonna be this whole thing, but it's a pain in the ass for me. I love my family, but it's like I'm there as much fun as it is. I'm still there to work, right? And there are panels that I have to be at and places that I have to be to do stuff for the
Dude,
convention.
trust me.
And having to look at the calendar and tell my mom and dad, all right, I have 2 hours at 11 a.m. from 11 a.m. to 1 on Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm free from 3 to 4:45. Like that.
Until I have to leave for the airport.
It fucking
Yeah.
sucks, dude, to have to like be doing all that crazy stuff. So this year, I told my mom, what if you drive up the Sunday, the final day of RTX, and when RTX is done, then I go with you, and then we drive all the way back home to the Rio Grande Valley where I can actually see all of my family, where my dad will be there, my nieces, my nephews, everybody, and I'll be there for about 3 days, and then you bring me back up to Austin, and I fly back to San Francisco.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So I had a very similar thing the first few times I went down to LA for E3. Is like that my parents would be just floating around LA, and I'm like that's
It's
so
so hard,
stressful.
dude.
Yeah.
Because my mom and my dad, like they're great, but they're not. What the fuck are they gonna do for 10 hours in LA? Like they're not.
yeah.
They don't want to be in LA. And I've had other friends too that are like my buddy Ryan. I love him to death. We try to see each other every year at E3, but he goes there as for fun, and so it's so hard because I'm like, I can carve out a lunch with you here, and I have like an hour here. But then you just inevitably what happens is he ends up texting me like, "Hey, dude, I'm just gonna go because your shit's going long, and so we'll grab lunch at Hooters or whatever it is. We like to
Yeah.
do that because it's hilarious. Also, good pickle chips. Just throwing out there.
It's also
And the
kind
wings
of
got
a
better.
bummer because the majority of the family that we have up there that my parents stay with are in Round Rock, which is about 15 minutes north
of Austin.
of Austin.
Oh, that's
yeah.
not bad.
With traffic, sometimes it could be 30 to 45, you know? And so that sucks when knowing that, like, oh, I can't just go down the street to go hang out with you guys. You know, I have to make it a whole thing. We're going to your uncle's house. We're going to barbecue. And
And if you only have 2 hours and you hit traffic.
yeah,
and
it
like,
stresses
not
me.
happening.
It
It's too
stresses me
stressful.
out like crazy.
No, you're doing the right thing. If you want to do a pro move, you got to do, you fly in. So, what was it, E3? E3, I stopped hanging out with my folks afterward because I was so tired. I was really just a mean asshole to them all the time. Because, you know, you don't sleep for fucking 4 days.
Yeah.
And you get there, and then you got to put up with your parents. Like, I shouldn't say put up with your parents. You see your parents, but your parents take a certain amount of energy to, like, be around because, you know, they're your parents. And you want to be.
Expecting great Nick.
Yeah, they want happy Nick, and I'm tired Nick that needs a couple days to recover. So what I started doing was I would go beforehand. So like if it was like Comic-Con, I would go because Comic-Con happens like
July.
I think
mid-July?
but I think it's like Comic-Con's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Or no. For Comic-Con's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I would go a couple days early and hang out with them just like a day before we would set up, and then I would go set up the next day just because
Get
that
on the
would
train.
be. Well, because then I'm like, hey, I've got energy and I'm excited about this trip, and that's cool. Or you know, I'll try to sleep in the next day and go out there, and they can come down to San Diego because they're Riverside. But I always feel so bad for my folks when I'm tired and hungover and I just want to not talk to people. That's the other thing too, is you've talked to people for 4 days straight and arguably the same conversation every single time.
Hey, how's your E3?
How's your E3 going? Great. What do you think Keanu Reeves and Cyberpunk? All right, awesome.
Play anything good?
It's not play anything good? Oh, I just came back from this day. Great. And then your mom's like, how was E3? I'm like, oh, I don't want to bore you with this. Like, you know, like,
And especially if you know that they don't really care.
they don't care. Yeah. I mean, they care about your well-being, but
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves being in Cyberpunk is not going to blow my mom's skirt up.
Yeah.
You know?
How'd you feel about Animal Crossing though?
I mean, she's a devout Stardew Valley
Wow.
follower.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know
She's
if
really
that's-
excited about the new update?
She's super excited about that.
Wow.
No, so yeah, my goal this year for Comic-Con, I don't know what we're doing for Comic-Con yet. I love Comic-Con because it is everything that
Comic-Con's fun.
It's everything that Tim and y'all love about, like Tim and Greg love about E3, but it's stuff I actually care about. Not that I don't care about games, because I do play games, but Comic-Con is like, you see all the same people, but at Comic-Con, and we're talking about the movies or the trailers or the celebrities that we just saw. So it's just a slightly different angle for me.
Like, bro, Swamp Thing canceled. Crazy.
And then there's nothing really to see at Comic-Con for us. We get paid to go do panels or show up and play. Like last year, Rocket League flew us down, which was freaking awesome. We got to hang out with Jeremy on that baseball field and we just invited all the community out, and when people just came out and drank with us all day. Fuck yeah, that's great. And then, but Mark offered me potentially a spot on one of his shows this year. So I'm hoping to just go down for that.
That's cool.
And then if I can just go have my parents pick me up the day after and go sit by the pool with them.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be real cool. The problem is I can never see my brother on these things because he's always fucking loading in sets.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he can tear away. We just do a
it's
barbecue
inevitable
before his house.
that old Matt Scarpino is going to be gotta be wandering around
Oh my God.
the premises.
He was texting us all day yesterday, and I'm like, stop texting, but you're stressing people out with these texts.
Before I started working here, there was 1 year that I went to E3 and I went to Comic-Con.
As a civilian?
So I got a pass for E3 from TT Games because I really liked Lego games and they gave me one.
Yeah.
And then I went down to San Diego just to do. I always used to go down to Comic-Con and not have a badge, and because there's so much shit that's going on.
You don't
that
need
a
to
badge
go
for.
in the show floor.
Yeah.
For Comic-Con. If you have friends, Comic-Con's about the parties.
They do bar crawls and all these theme
there's
things,
cool
and they'll
things
play
happening
movies with
everywhere,
live
yeah.
orchestras
Oh my
on the
God,
water.
yes.
It's super cool.
Okay, just try to, that's
But
the
I
fun part.
inevitably at one of these events would run into your brother at a party. Oh man.
Yeah, God bless him.
Yeah.
My brother, who is the only person I know that will wear his nice shorts to a party.
Yeah.
God bless him.
But your brother always like
he dresses up. I'm
if
just
I
joking
saw if I noticed that your brother was at a party, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a fun night.
Oh, dude. if Matt Scarpino knows you
Yeah.
and sees you and you recognize him, you're getting drunk that night.
Oh yeah.
He and his crew like to party. And you know what? Deservedly so, because this is the thing that
they
a lot of
work
people
fucking
don't
hard.
Yeah.
fucking get is that you see the people, like, let's take a place like IGN, right? You see Damon, you see Brian on camera, you see those guys working their ass off, and it's hard. It's especially hard for them because they have to keep that energy level up the whole time. All the IGN crew used to work their fucking asses off. But what you don't see is the 5 or 6 people that had to load that set in the day before. And let's put it this way, Comic-Con, thanks Koji. Comic-Con, for instance, when we used to load that set into the Hard Rock, it's not like they have giant fucking lift doors that go right into that, like a theater venue. Theater venues, usually the entire back of the theater will like roll up and you can just load shit in.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's like, if you go to the Bill Graham, you can just load shit as a straight shot right to the actual stage. At the Hard Rock, it's a fucking ballroom. So you have to hump shit up the back freight elevator where they're trying to bring in, everyone's trying to do it. You have a time that you get scheduled. You show up, there's 5 other fucking trucks, you're double parked out there. You're trying to share the elevator with people who are delivering food because guess what? When you go up it, narrow little hallway, it goes right by the kitchen and like all these glassware everywhere. And you have to take every piece of scenic art or scenic stuff that you have through that hallway, through double doors, down another hallway, and that's where the venue is.
The idea of being double parked just stresses.
Oh, it's so. I forget what the actual terminology is for it, but you get a time that you're supposed to be there, and that's your load-in time. And it's like you get some sort of, the official term for it. But if you miss that, if your truck's late, you're fucked. Because there's other trucks that then you're going over their time and then everything gets backed up. And so it's annoying. So like the few times that I helped my brother load, and he runs a production company called Go Button, I loaded them into Comic-Con is some of the most stressful things. Granted, they're pros, so they make it a lot easier. But like, yeah, that shit starts, I think Comic-Con preview night is Wednesday, right?
I think so.
So this shit starts Tuesday would be the load in. Tuesday, Wednesday, the load in. And then we have to go live with rehearsals Wednesday night and then trying to get everyone there. It was a massive endeavor. And then the editorial staff would come to help actually power the production and make sure that people show up. But it was a very, very exciting, fun thing to do because you'd be like, cool, everything's good. Who's our first person? Oh, it's the entire cast of Harry Potter. Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. You know, okay, cool. And then Daniel Radcliffe walks in. He's like, hey, and you're like, oh, this is very exciting.
Yeah.
This is cool. He's a
D-Rad.
D-Rads, as we call him.
Dude.
But yeah, it takes a tremendous amount of effort to do all that stuff, which is why I'm glad this year it's not like we cut back. It's just, I think it's right that the people that want to go down for it, that makes sense, go down for it. Like you were thinking about going down, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to go down for one of the parties.
So was I. I was.
You guys totally, we should try to make that work for next year. If you want to just pop in for a night, because it is about networking.
I've asked for years to go. Years.
To E3?
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Comic-Con. My bad.
We'll get to that.
No, yeah.
No, Comic-Con, it doesn't make any sense for all of us to go down. It's a blast,
so cool,
but
yeah.
we only go down if we have a gig down there that someone's going to help subsidize. Get us down because it's fucking expensive to stay in San Diego that day.
Yeah, and downtown.
It's a pain in the ass to get in and out of.
Yeah, LA's way easier. You can stay a little bit farther out.
Yeah,
and
they
Uber
bought it
and
out.
stuff like
and
that.
thankfully for Airbnb being a thing. But you remember, dude, there used to be a time when I first started, because this would have been my 13th E3 if I had gone this year.
Wow.
I know. I'm glad I got a break. I'll take a little bit of a break. We'll see what happens next year. But when I first started, there was no Airbnb and no Uber.
So everyone's at hotels and taxis.
Everyone's at hotels, which is awesome. But taxis were fucking terrible because you couldn't get them. You have to walk to a hotel to get a taxi. You can't call a fucking taxi in LA. Good luck.
Well, I even remember doing that when we were in Vancouver of like, they don't have Uber and there's some like marathon happening. And we were like, I hope we can find a taxi somewhere to
Yes, it
take
was
us
the
to the
Vancouver
airport.
Marathon.
Oh, yeah.
I believe. From what I gleaned, a fairly big marathon. And yeah, we had to like, thankfully, like they have the cab lines. But
yeah,
man, these modern amenities, like when Airbnb became a thing, everyone's like, can we do? And like that was when we were part of Fox, and they were like, you guys can't do those. It's not in the Fox policy. And we're like, if we can't stay at Airbnbs, we'll have to sleep on the fucking streets. There's no hotel rooms.
Yeah,
we used to have to book hotel rooms a year in advance. Like after E3 would end, we would log on the next day and try to book hotel rooms. And Fran would be like, wait, that's a little far in advance. We're like, are we not going to E3 next year?
Yeah,
come on, let's book a block.
Yeah,
that was the worst.
That reminds me of the on that Adam Ruins Everything show, talking about how I've mentioned this on this podcast before, but how Airbnb is becoming like kind of criminal, where these people are buying apartment rooms and they are renting out apartments or whatever, and then selling them as Airbnbs at a crazy amount, and they're making so much profit.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, and you can't. It's so hard to crack down on it. Because of
it's very unregulated. Yeah.
Certain cities are really good about stopping that. Like I know in San Diego, my in-laws put up an Airbnb and immediately were hit up by the city being like, "Yo, you need a permit." They didn't know.
Wow.
Like they got the permit, everything got sorted with them, but like certain cities like try to get on top of that right away.
Yeah, that's
San
good.
San Francisco also, I believe it has rules against that too.
Yeah, because they mentioned just like how people are being priced out, and it's so hard for people to afford to live in these places anymore because
Yeah.
there's no availability, and the ones that are available are super fucking expensive.
Well, not only that, but the hotel industry is taking a big hit because of it. And I personally, I'm not a huge fan of Airbnbs just because
I would
I've
much
had,
rather stay at a hotel.
yeah, I've had some good experiences, but I've also had some incredibly negative experiences where you walk in and it's not clean.
Yeah.
It is just
It's
literally
warm, the AC's off.
the AC's not working or whatever. Like when we were in New York, the fucking light in the bathroom was the bulb was burst. Like the bulb wasn't working rather. And so you and I had to we were like, well, I guess we could go buy a light bulb and change a fucking light bulb. But then we were so busy and so tired that we ended up just showering in the dark.
Yep.
We would take
Have my flashlight on my phone.
Andy and I would look because Andy showers at night. I see Andy come out walk over to the bathroom and turn on his flashlight like he's a spelunker. He's like, I'll see you in a little bit, and he just walks in and it's just like a light glowing out of there. I vastly prefer hotels because hotels have a specific standard, and if something goes wrong, you have someone you can call who will immediately try and make it right.
It's like apartment versus a homeowner or something like that. Like
you have and that's the thing. Like
the onus isn't on you, and if it is on you, if you're like an Airbnb, the homeowners aren't just readily available.
No,
that isn't their main business. They don't have like an office nearby that they just sort of sit at. They're
not sitting. They're not sitting downstairs.
Yeah, they're
waiting
homeowners
for,
too, and
yeah,
they're
Well, and if they are,
fucked
it's
off.
weird.
or they're on
that's
vacation.
worse. Yeah, most of the time they just go stay with a relative, I would
Yeah.
imagine. But that's the other problem too, is there's so many different small things you don't think about when you get an Airbnb. If you have an Airbnb with 5 people are staying at, guess how many keys you usually get? One.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
the worst.
when you're at LA and all 5 of us or 10 of us are at different parties, and one of us wants to come home early, it's like then you
worst.
gotta fucking coordinate and get the key and then leave the door open while you sleep. And we were in fucking like South Central last time.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not a good neighborhood to be in. That we can't leave our shit. We can't leave this door open because it does not feel like a safe neighborhood.
Yeah.
So that is the deal with that. Like I've more often than not have been like I've walked from Airbnbs before where
We've
I'm like
heard
I
the
walked in and be
stories.
like, nope, not staying here. This is a shithole and there's not
Yeah.
enough beds and there's like one room with 3 cots in it. I'm like, this is not a fucking 3-bedroom Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, some of it's just me being a little bit too bougie. But the first year we did E3, I was like, I can't. I
Was that
walked
the
in.
sex dungeon year?
No, that was the second year. That I almost walked from that, but I was like, this is gonna be too good of a story. I gotta stick around for this. But I mean, it's like that's a perfect example, right? We were in a sex dungeon, and you would think, hey, maybe put a light switch in that turns normal lights on. My room was black light the entire time. I almost had a fucking stroke.
It was so hard to go to the
was
restroom because
so-
it was just a red light.
We
Yeah.
had to put up our production lights.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. It was funny as hell.
No, the first year we rented Airbnbs that were very far away. Actually, I shouldn't say very far away. Just far enough away to be annoying
Yeah.
to the point where an Uber driver's like, really? Like I gotta fucking.
You're gonna make me drive
you gotta
all
make
the
that-
way over there?
So I mean, if it's LA, ideally you want your Airbnb or your hotel room to be within walking distance of the convention center because all the parties are kind of that area anyway.
Yeah.
But I walked in and it was like it said it was 3 beds, but it was literally a 1-bedroom apartment, and the doors just opened up to the living room, and so it had like French doors that would open up inside the apartment, and so there was like a bed that was the couch, and then another bed, and there was supposed to be 3 of us that slept in there, and I think it was supposed to be me, Kevin, and Tim
Yeah.
snores like a fucking freight train,
And so do I.
and so does Kevin, and I'm like, I am not. This is not going to work.
You're
for
never
me.
gonna sleep. Yeah.
And then we had another bed. We had another one that we had rented that was 2 bedrooms with 2 beds, and I was like, I'm not going to sleep on a couch. So I eventually just ended up finding a cheap hotel that
I
was
slept
nearby.
on a couch.
And so Kevin slept on a couch, but you don't care. Like
Yeah,
that's the thing.
true.
If you did, I would be like, let's figure something else
No,
out.
you're
but
right. You're right. I don't care.
Though I did figure out something by the time we got to Vancouver. They have
Hotel.
Airbnb Plus now.
Yeah.
Which is like that has like a certain expectation of like amenities and location and stuff
It's
like
like an
that.
Uber Black or something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
I
They
just-
were real, like, I saw both of them because we
Yeah.
dropped our stuff at one and then Barrett and I stayed at the other one. Real
I mean-
nice, super cute, really clean, great location. It was all code stuff, so we didn't have to juggle keys.
That's cool.
Like all that stuff was.
that
great.
makes sense. Obviously, there's going to be growing pains with something like Uber or Airbnb where people are just figuring it out. But I just feel like it hasn't hit that level of quality yet that that I can engage with how much we travel. Like
Yeah.
I need a hotel stay in there every once in a while. I need to be able to walk up to a concierge or call someone and be like, can I have a towel?
Yeah.
And have them do it. And then also hotels generally tend to be situated like centrally so you can walk out and like, it sounds silly, but I like, that hotel we stay at for RTX.
It's perfect.
It's great. Because it's right across the street from the fucking convention center. It's got a cafe
You're
and a restaurant
partying,
in
you're
it.
done, you're a block away.
We
you
also
go to your
tend to
elevator.
party there after everything's done. We go have
Shout
one
out
more
to that
cocktail
hotel
at the bar. You know, Andrea makes them stay open because she's a fucking boss.
Orders just bottles of champagne.
That was my favorite story from last year. That's when Andrew and I really bonded. We had known each other for years, but that was when I was like, "You're a fucking boss,
And
a
we
boss."
baited her into going to IHOP with promises.
Oh
of
yeah.
pizza.
Well, no. First off, I've still
So
never had
glad I
this
didn't
goddamn
go.
pizza place that you guys talk about.
Via 313.
Via 313.
We have
Can
to go.
Can we
We
please
tr-
get this?
Absolutely.
We tried to go
Joey,
and it
and I'm
was
not pointing any
closed.
fingers, but Joey's like, "Hey, I found one that's open. Let's Uber there." We Ubered there, and she put in the wrong one. And we
Hey,
got there,
who's
and
letting me be in charge of the Ubers after?
I was drunk. What do you ever
15 Rooster
mean?
Teeth parties.
Oh my god, I was hammered too. It's hot. You just want a nice little mojito or something
Dude,
tasty.
Yeah. A little margarita
it's
action.
fantastic, dude.
So we ended up we took Andrew to IHOP, and she was like, "I am not going to IHOP." Then we went to IHOP. She goes, "I am not ordering anything." Flash forward 30 minutes later, we are horking down this food. We are just destroying
the
this.
late night like IHOP or Denny's visit is
the best.
just such a
It's
magical
always
thing.
the best, dude.
Yeah.
When back in the day, we used to go there when I was like in high school. There was a local Denny's and a local Dairy Queen that we would just always hit up because it was late at night and we had nothing else to do and we were bored.
Yeah.
And we would go down to the Denny's and like we weren't like it wasn't a late night because we were drunk. We were just like late night bored.
It's
Yeah.
that weird like time frame when it's like you want to go out and do stuff,
It
but
was
you're
like
not old enough to
10:30.
be at a bar.
Yeah, it was like
there's
at 10:30 to 1.
It's either like the 24-hour
Yeah.
Walmart or some weird
We
24-hour
would
diner.
always go to the Denny's because it was after our theater performances. Like we had our drama plays or whatever, and we'd put on these big productions.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, all right, let's go out as a cast and crew. Let's go to Denny's
Yeah.
or whatever. Let's go party. Or
That was
not
when everyone
party,
had to
but
bring
just-
cash because you'd have to like break it up.
Yeah,
the
it
bills.
was
Try and
and
split the bill.
The worst, dude. Oh my god, like all right, I just all I got was tenders and a fucking Coke.
You're $7.43
Yeah.
to cover
You
my
don't
Why
forget
am I
tip.
paying
Don't forget
$44?
tip. Yeah, no. That was always that. It's
The
so funny.
worst.
I think I remember thinking to myself, "Wow, I think I'm an adult now because I'd rather just split it evenly than having to worry about that."
I love that.
I maybe hit like 27, 28, and people are like, "Hey, so you owe?" I was like, "No, no, just y'all had more than me. I don't care. Just split it." Who
Because you know
cares?
that it ends up evening out
eventually. Maybe not that bill,
I mean,
but
that's the great
here's the
thing
thing
about
about
Venmo, man. This is so.
well, man. Even then, though, it's like
Again, another app that makes things a little bit handier sometimes.
I get it if you're like, hey, we went to Denny's and I ordered mozzarella sticks and everyone had meals. But even then, it's like,
But
you know
even
what you're
then,
getting
it's
yourself
Denny's.
into. It's a different thing if, like, when you go to a nice meal and people order like 10 cocktails and you're not drinking that night, maybe. But even then, it's like, I know I'm going to drink one of these nights.
Yeah,
so we'll just make it
exactly.
up. It doesn't matter. Speaking of which, D and I are doing this like elimination diet again, and it's killing me. But it ends right at RTX, and man, I am so excited for VIA 313.
I'm
excited for those
go
cocktails behind the stage, the Let's Play panel thing. If they're doing that again, are they doing
Yeah.
Let's Play live again?
They are. I don't know if we're
No,
doing
it's just Achievement Hunter
Oh,
Live.
it is just.
No, I'm going anyway.
Oh, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
but here's the thing: we have to figure out what we're doing because we get in on 4th of July and we get in early. Because we
Well,
leave
let's
it like
immediately
8.
go to the pool and get hammered.
100%.
Okay.
Kevin, bring
That's it.
fireworks.
Oof.
Can you do fireworks
Kevin, can
in
you
Texas?
sneak fireworks in?
Can we do? You can't.
No.
But Texas is supposed to be cool. And
Yeah,
all,
dude,
like,
I thought Texas was all about
explosive,
guns and
they're not.
explosive shit.
right? Don't they love guns?
Oh, they love guns.
Yeah, they do.
Doesn't that directly correlate to loving fireworks?
Huh?
Doesn't that directly correlate to loving fireworks?
Yeah, but I feel like the fireworks.
I mean, they love
General
fireworks. People
explosives?
legally do them all the
yeah.
time.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like that's more of a safety issue because everything's so dry in Texas that you have to have
Oh, yeah.
harsher regulations. I feel like if you want to do real good fireworks, you go to like Seattle, where everything's wet.
I think you can do that.
Just blow things up.
No,
It
dude,
doesn't
people
matter.
still illegally
Atlanta
pop
goes
fireworks
ham
all
on
the time.
fireworks.
People
Oh.
still legally pop all the time. There's always like, I remember growing up, there were always stories of, oh yeah, that place shut down. They shut that place down because they were illegally selling fireworks or whatever.
And you can't buy them in San Francisco, right?
Kevin?
No,
No.
you cannot.
I think you
We
can.
could go
Can
to
you
my
get them in
parents'
daily?
house.
No.
Outside of San Francisco County or no?
Last I heard, it's like an hour away. The only place.
Yeah, you can get them at my
really good
parents'
ones.
house. We used to set them off all the time.
That kind of makes sense though, because given the fact
so
that
close.
fires in San Francisco are really, really scary because everything is attached
Yeah.
to itself, I'm okay with that not being a thing. But if we land on 4th of July, I mean, I'm honestly,
When are we
chill.
landing? We're landing Thursday, right?
Yeah, but I
Because
think
Friday
we
we
land
have our signing morning.
But I
So
think
we-
we land at like, there's
Our
only 2
flight
flights to
leaves at
Austin.
8.
I think we landed a relatively early hour.
I think
Yeah.
we land at like 1.
Good.
On Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's
1 or
cool.
2.
That's great.
I like that.
So
Do you think
yeah,
it's
that'll
gonna
be
a
nice.
lot, like, it's gonna be hard to go to the airport?
Go to the airport?
Like, I mean, get through security and shit.
Oh, on 4th of July?
Yeah.
Great question, actually. Probably not. Because you think like who the fuck's traveling on 4th of July?
I've flown on the 4th of July a couple of times, and it hasn't been bad. And we have an 8 o'clock flight, too. That's
I thought you meant the drive, because the drive to the airport and back is not great.
It's Uber.
I'm using Nick time. Yeah, just Uber.
I mean, I'm not. That's what I mean. Like, I just mean like
just
time wise,
getting there, getting back.
it's not super.
What does
fun.
it take you like an hour to get there?
I feel like 45 to an hour because of traffic.
Yeah.
In Austin?
Yeah. The traffic can be wild depending on the day or whatever. That's the thing.
And I feel like everybody's going to be out on 4th of July, so I feel like, plus the convention, a lot of hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. I'm looking forward to
I'm
it.
very excited.
It's going to be great.
Kevin, have you ever gone? You went that one year when I met you guys.
He's gone a couple times.
You
right?
went you went in 2015.
I believe the only year I didn't go was last year.
Oh.
Did you go the year before?
I think so.
Well, I don't
I
remember
don't think
that.
I've ever been with you.
Really?
I don't think so.
I want to say I've gone to at least 2.
I don't think you went to this last year or the year before that.
I don't think so
you went.
either.
I thought Kevin and Paul. I thought Paula was there last year.
I think it was the year before.
No,
No.
Paula was there 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. Are you going this
I
year?
think. Yeah, we're all going.
Everybody's going.
Paula's coming
Everybody's
too.
It's going to be fun.
Dude, I honestly, if we can just get hammered and like hang out at the pool that first day, I'd really like that. I would love that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that
You didn't
goes.
have pluckers yet?
Oh, pluckers.
Yes. No, I haven't yet. No, I haven't.
Okay.
But like, I'm down to. I also
There's-
would just like to be hammered in a pool.
Favorite wing
There's
joint.
the following has to happen. I will get via 313. I will get it. Frank has to happen.
Frank.
Frank, the hot
Hot
dog
dog
place.
place.
Oh, I
It's
don't
gonna
been there?
happen. It always
Yeah,
happens.
I don't care about the hot dog place.
Oh, I love
Neither
that
do I.
place.
They have the like weird poutine there, right?
I love it.
The poutine is great.
No, they don't. The poutine is what it is, but the version of the poutine with the waffle fries and basically the
Fried chicken?
no, it's they do waffle fries with like a not corned beef sandwich, yeah, like corned beef on top of it. Oh my
Oh,
god,
like pastrami
and like
shit.
yeah, it's like pastrami and like sauerkraut. It's the fucking best thing I've ever had in my life, and like a cheese of some sort, mod on. It's so good. It's
I want
so good.
breakfast tacos.
And then we gotta do Don Julio's because that's
the
I've
just,
never
usual.
been there either.
the Don Julio's is a tradition.
Every
They just
year.
serve you. It's always funny because we always drag someone with us who
We
doesn't
ate
know
there
what's
before
happening.
the comedy night, right?
Yes, we
because I
did.
remember being there before having to go do that comedy thing and just feeling super nervous and
You
like I
nervous?
should drink. I'm not nervous now.
You're not nervous now. Are you gonna get
You
nervous?
just got me nervous.
I'm so nervous right now.
It's gonna be fun.
Guys, you know what I'm nervous about?
There's so many people.
We don't
What's
have
that?
Aaron Porter.
We'll have someone else. Aaron's.
We'll find
I'm
someone
more
new
than
to
up for it with
Let's
Aaron.
find someone new to love.
Yeah, we'll have a
Can
new
we?
guardian.
Do we have room in our heart for someone new?
Oh, of course.
Well, we'll put him through the ringer like we did Aaron. Where we
I
just,
still remember Charlotte, my RTX London helper. She was great, and like I feel like her and I mean obviously she's not Aaron Porter, but still she was cool and she was helpful.
I just.
We also
remembered.
had years of establishing a relationship
True,
with Aaron
yeah,
Porter.
true.
We'll make new friends. It'll be fine.
Aaron hooked it up when I had diarrhea that one time.
Did he? He was jotting on the spot with the Purell.
What does that mean?
Think about it, Cam.
He caught it, Kevin.
I'm just thinking,
He just caught it.
Tampon.
No, he and Aaron
wife.
brought me Pepto Bismol to the hotel.
Did it help?
Oh yeah, it was great because Kevin, it was one of those nights where
I don't know if I want to hear
there's a
this.
lot of partying, and it's like I just want to go party, but I'm so scared that I'm gonna have to go to the restaurant all the time.
Boop, boop.
And then he brought Pepto, and it helped out, and I was hanging out and partying, and it was great.
Dude, that's
It was a great time.
man.
That was a night where Bethany took us up to her room. Well, her room wasn't even a room. It
It was
was
like a baller suite, right?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
This was like the biggest house I've been in.
I need to go. I didn't go that one. I think I was doing something else.
It was so dope, dude. It was like a 360 view. All this crazy like.
That's so cool.
What
that was like
this?
the RT suite though that they had rented
Yeah.
for just so people could
For
have
the
a
events.
holding chill place before and after parties, right?
No, that was her staying
But
place.
that was just specifically
Yeah,
hers.
that was their.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's nice that they do that. It's nice that they get people hotel rooms if they want them.
Yeah.
Like downtown, because getting back and forth there, I mean, it's just unsafe after a while because you have to take Ubers and shit. And you're drinking. It's just so much fun. There's
It's
nothing
so
quite
late.
like it's 80 degrees outside, maybe like 1 or 2 in the morning. You're a little hammered. You just walk back to your air conditioned hotel and plop the fuck
That's
down.
the best,
You don't
dude.
have to
Oh,
deal with an
so
Uber
good.
driver who doesn't know where he's going, even though you're like, aren't you from this town?
Yeah.
It's the best. That's my least favorite thing about San Francisco is when I'm drunk every Uber driver is not from here, so they don't know where the fuck they're going. And you just see it. They pull up their phone, and you're like, dude, it's the easy. I'm like 10 blocks away. How do you not know? And they do a route, and you're like, that's not the right route. But I'm too drunk to argue with this person. Like,
Just
don't
let
do
it
it that
happen.
way. Just all right. And then it's like,
And then you vomit.
yeah, oh God, it's the worst.
Oh.
Did you totally off topic? You see what happened to Kevin Durant last night?
No.
So
Did he poop in his guardian's hands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I agree to be on this show all the
I
time?
don't know. I have no idea.
No, so he was hurt, right? He's been hurt. He finally came back last night against the in Game 5 against the Raptors. This is do or die time for the Warriors.
Yeah.
They're down 3-1. He came back last night and he
Wow,
started
it's
off
weird that you
hot.
didn't even give us the theme song.
Anyway.
Oh, I thought we were doing
Sorts. Of
sports. There it is. All sorts of sports with Andy.
He had kind of like messed up his calf. That's why he was missing for a long time. He missed the whole Blazers series, and they didn't need him. They swept the Blazers. It was like 4-0 or whatever. And so he comes back today, Game 5 against the Raptors. They're down 3-1. It's like do or die. We need you back for this one. And he starts off hot, and it's like, oh shit, KD's back, And then he does this thing, Nick, where you can't really see it. Well, yeah, you can see my leg. He does this thing where he's dribbling up to the hoop, and then he backs up and puts pressure on the leg. And he's wearing leggings. You can see like he's wearing like kind of like these compression shorts
Sleeves,
or whatever.
yeah.
And you just see something in his calf, like boop, move.
Just pop.
And then he just immediately hit the ground, and he was just on the ground sitting there and was like, it looks like it's a torn Achilles.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, torn Achilles.
That's a bad one, too.
Yeah,
That
it's a
takes
real bad
long
one, especially
time
for
to
someone like as tall as he is.
Yeah, that's a big Achilles.
And what's it called?
He already had surgery and everything, right?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Surgery?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You gotta like put it back together.
Oh, yeah. When that thing pops off, you got to put it back on. Otherwise,
So
it starts to
gross.
shrink.
So
which is
gross.
bad.
They have to take other tendons.
And then the Toronto fans were cheering when he was hurt. So it was kind of interesting because
Well,
like
I bet they're probably happy that one of the star players
yeah,
is
but it's
not
like
in.
somebody gets hurt and nobody really knew what it was.
Bro, these are the finals.
But there was a lot of fans in Toronto, and there was one guy waving at him later, and shit, and then a couple of the Raptors players were looking at the crowd what the fuck are you doing? Shut up. Why are you cheering? And it was a really cool moment of sportsmanship where there was a lot of the Raptors players telling the crowd stop cheering. What are you doing?
That's good.
And then
That's really
eventually,
good.
as he walked off, they did
They did the clap.
They did the
You guys
clap,
did the clap.
But it was it was really scary there for a
I
second.
get it. People are very, very hardcore about their teams.
But it goes against what happened in this Jimmy Kimmel interview where they were interviewing Toronto fans and they were like, all right, you're a Toronto Raptors fan, talk smack about the Warriors. And they'd be like, no, that's not what we do here.
Oh, I liked that.
Again, it was
They're
just
Canadians, man.
I saw that headline pop up on YouTube where it was can Canadians talk smack, or whatever it was, and I was
There's
like,
a lot
oh,
of
this
people
is a good one.
no, I mean, good luck to them. I don't want them to win, but best of luck to them.
I went down a rabbit hole with one of those variety clips on YouTube where they get James McAvoy, Sophie Turner, and Michael Fassbender to explain slang from the places they're from.
Oh, that's the best.
And I was like, I'll just click. I watched the whole thing. It was so silly.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were trying to figure out whose it was. Because I guess McAvoy's from Ireland. I think Fassbender's Scottish, and then Sophie Turner's English. And so they were trying to figure out what was what. And I was like, some of these are weird as hell. But it was pretty funny.
I forgot who else had one. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I watched the whole thing. Oh gosh. From
It was Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, yeah.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time.
Where's she from?
No.
She's Australian.
Oh, I didn't know
yeah.
that.
What's the Hollywood movie called?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I was gonna say Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
There is a movie called Once Upon a Time in
different
Mexico.
movie. Different
Great
movie.
movie.
But yeah, she's Australian, and she had a lot of different sort of slang that was what the fuck is that? You
Yeah.
call it that? Very shocking stuff.
Speaking of shocking stuff, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break to tell you about our sponsors. Our first sponsor today, ladies and gentlemen, is Green Chef. Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company that makes eating well easy and affordable with plans to fit every kind of lifestyle. The meal plans include paleo, plant-powered, vegan and vegetarian, pescatarian, keto, I like that, and gluten-free and omnivore. Green Chef lets you choose from a wide array of easy-to-follow lifestyles and elect organic ingredients. Green Chef's expert chefs design flavorful recipes for your lifestyle that go way beyond ordinary substitution. With Green Chef, it's easy to eat well and discover new recipes every week that you'll love to cook. Let Green Chef do the meal planning, grocery shopping, and most of the prep for you week after week. Gia and Tim use Green Chef. Gia loves it. She's been cooking for Tim, and Tim loves that part because then Tim, it can just be Tim and go do his job. Makes things easier. Some of her favorite recipes that she's cooked in the last couple weeks have been rosemary roasted chicken and the roasted Parmesan Dijon salmon. These sound so good that I Googled them just to see them, and now I want to go over to Tim and Gia's house for dinner. I'm gonna have to get that invite. Kevin, how do we get that invite?
Man, I've been trying for years.
We're gonna. That's gonna be a tough nut to crack, ladies and gentlemen. But with Green Chef, we can crack it. Here's the deal. Listen up. For a total of $75 off, that's $25 off each of your first 3 boxes. Go to greenchef.us/kinda57. That's a total of $75 off. $25 off each of your first 3 boxes. Go to greenchef.us/kinda57. Get that deal right now. And then all of us can go over to your house for dinner. Won't that be fun? Next up, we got Upstart. As most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy. Getting out is hard, especially if your FICO score isn't great. Thankfully, now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that that knows you're more than just your credit score and offers smarter interest rates to help you pay off high interest credit card debt. Lots of us have suffered from credit card debt. My brother was in a lot of credit card debt, as was my Uncle Paul back in the day. I don't know if it's an Italian thing, but it's just what happens. You get into debt very, very easily. Thankfully now there's Upstart. Upstart goes beyond the traditional FICO score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score. They believe in you and they understand that. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes without affecting your credit score. The best part? Once the loan is approved, most people get their funds the very next business day. The next day. Over 200,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, student loans, fund their wedding, or to make a large purchase. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked number 1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot. And hurry to upstart.com/kindafunny to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes and won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/kindafunny. And we're back. Actually, I need to go to the bathroom. Do you guys want to take a break for a second, or do you want to just keep talking?
You can take a break.
Cool.
You can take a break.
I'll be right back.
You can take a break.
We're going to have to edit this out.
Are we?
Add it anyway, right?
Yeah.
No, we'll just...
That's right, for the Patreon.
We can just keep talking for the Patreon people.
keep talking for the Patreon people.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I scraped my knee and it kind of hurts.
Oh,
Really?
Kevin, come
From
show
the
us.
fall?
No, you can't see. It's just a little pink.
sweaty.
Yeah, I'm sweaty as
It's
fuck.
just a little pink.
And I'm wearing
It's
this
not
light
that it
gray
hurts.
shirt.
It just feels like the skin is a little raw, and I keep touching it.
Don't
Why
look
do you
at
keep
me.
touching it? I'm so glad I can't see Kevin.
Yeah,
from here.
you should be glad. You should be glad. It's 87. Fuck, I thought it was only gonna be like 78 today or something.
Honestly,
that was
I
what
feel
it
like
says
the
for
weather right now, fantastic. I could be
It's
okay
so
with
hot
this.
over
yeah, you're
here.
near a window.
Guys, 100%. Look, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm just saying I'm pretty okay with this
And
right now.
tomorrow, apparently, high is 69.
I know that Greg and Tim are gone. Are we gonna do fun things without them, or are we just gonna go home and
No,
sleep?
we're gonna go
No, we're gonna
home.
go and sleep. What are you talking about? I'm already planning, like, okay, tomorrow we do KFAF. Then what's after that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't think I'm gonna.
I'm gonna
Maybe
go
we
and
just
get
move
my-
party mode to tomorrow
No, don't do that.
until Thursday.
Why?
Because I want to go get my phone fixed. Remember, I
Oh,
made
sure.
that whole plan.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
I'll
but
just.
if you move it to tomorrow, then I can just not come in at all on Thursday. And then we can
Wait,
go to the
are you
movies.
on party modes?
Maybe, I don't know.
I
When
don't
was
know.
last time?
I don't know what we're
think so,
playing.
yeah.
Oh, then never mind.
I don't know what we're playing.
Yeah, I let's
We'll think about it. We'll talk about it.
talk about it. Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Because I really want to get my phone fixed, and I'm finally like, tomorrow I have it free. I can drive all the way down to San Jose where there's no traffic, And
You're getting your phone fixed in San Jose?
I wish I could go somewhere else, but it is the Pixel 3 XL has a super complicated way to like fix it, and none of the local places do it. Otherwise, I would have done it right away.
I feel like you can do it.
No, it is really, really complicated. I've
You know
looked
how to
into it
solder.
heavily. I do not want to.
You made a bed frame, dude.
I haven't finished it. I used to actually change all like anytime my phone would get cracked, and this was, it would usually happen about a year and a half to having the phones, and I'd replace it myself.
How annoying is that? Where your family knows you have these abilities.
It is.
You're the guy. You're the
is
designated
annoying.
dude.
Well, the thing is, most of my family doesn't care about they don't care about their technology. So, like, my sister has had a cracked phone for like years, and it's
Okay.
I want to say she had a Galaxy like 6 or something, like super old, and it's like, oh, that's easy to fix, but I'm not telling her. She doesn't care, so she's not looking for that.
Well, I mean less of like just fixing stuff, but also just being like the tech dude. There's nothing worse than
like,
like.
do they call you when the internet's out? Kevin,
my
what do I
gosh.
do?
Kevin loves that though. Kevin loves to be the guy everyone relies on for all that tech stuff
feel like
he
you do.
he likes the tech stuff.
I mean,
Kevin loves helping people.
Well, no, but I feel like here's a couple things, and I don't mean this in a negative way, Kevin. So I'm going to say this as positively as possible because I mean this in a good way. This is one of the things we like about you is that Kevin legitimately loves tech. He just loves tech, and so he likes to be the guy that people.
how could I take that badly?
Because I just wanted to
nerd.
preface because sometimes I start talking
there's
and
always
then
a
you
but.
you give me the look like when's he gonna talk shit to me? When's he gonna fucking say?
Kevin, you have 2 cars.
Yeah, the motherfucker I have 3 cars. All right, but Kevin loves tech, and so it's nice to have people rely on him for that.
Yeah.
Kevin
know?
got so excited the other day when I had Linus Tech Tips running on my laptop after one of the conferences.
It's a good
And then
show.
was really
Good show.
Is it
disappointed.
because I mentioned his name?
I don't know. It just was like the next autoplay video.
Oh, okay,
And
gotcha.
Kevin was really disappointed that I didn't.
Because we
personally
were
select it.
because they were showing off Doom Eternal.
How did that look, by the way?
That looks fantastic.
Yeah,
Looks
is
so
that
good.
a brand new Doom or is it like
Yeah,
an upres
brand new
version?
Doom,
I'm sorry.
brand new Doom.
Doom.
It's funny. I couldn't get into the last one.
What?
It was too arcadey, as opposed to Rage 2, which I think is a nice mix of like open worlds and like exploration and leveling up. I got into that first Doom and I was like, oh man, this is a little too straightforward for me. Maybe I'll go back to it.
I think if you played it now, you would be totally into it because it just feels way better than it does what Rage 2 does, but just way better. I think.
You know what I picked up?
What?
God of War.
Whoa!
Pick that back up, yeah.
No
Where are you?
Just
way.
you know what's funny? I got to a point. I don't know where the fuck I was mentally when I was playing that game the first time, but I was like, oh, this shit's hard. And then you all were like, drop the difficulty level down. And I was like, I'm playing on fucking medium. There was like 5 difficulty levels. I'm playing on 3. There's no way that I could. Anyway, put it away for a long time. Came back to it, beat that level immediately, and just started going on. And I'm like, oh, this is
You're
cool.
a gamer now, dude.
Oh, a huge gamer.
gosh.
Yeah, I've been a gamer for years. But so I think that's my next game that I'm gonna play through. I just have to remember how the actual mechanics of fighting work because you get knocked back and I'm like, I know I can do something here, but I can't remember what.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'll
There's
Google
always
it.
the learning curve when you jump back in.
Well, that's always the hard part with like shooters are a little bit easier because they tend to be the same controls, but like with Rage 2, like you've got all your specials, like your abilities, and just remembering how to use those, I can tell is going to be really hard when I jump back into like Rage 3 whenever it comes out 3 or 4 years from now. But yeah, the God of War with a
Well, they announced more expansion stuff.
for Rage?
Rage 2,
Oh
yeah.
fuck yeah, doggy dog.
Yeah, they
I'm
announced
in.
like more places and a new race of bad guys, like sort of a new group that you can fight that are
Very cool.
like
Oh,
I
I'm
think
in.
they're cannibals or some shit like that.
I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
I need more because I literally finished the game. And when you've leveled up so far, you're like, it's just fun to be in here. And then you kind of get bored. And then you kind of go, oh, I'm not going to do the racing stuff. It's just, I don't like the racing
Doesn't
stuff.
happen
And
to
then
me.
you get to a
Yeah.
point, you're like, I'm going to do the racing stuff because I got nothing else to do. I took down all the convoys. I'm like, I've done everything. I was like, I'm not going to find the grav dart gun. I found the fucking grav dart gun. Because I put all that time into it. I got to go kill people with these things now.
Sure.
But yeah, so God of War, I think, is the next one I'm going to pick back up. Y'all got me.
I'm excited for you.
You guys got me enthusiastic about it because I want to play and then I want to go watch that documentary.
Oh,
that's on
you gotta
Netflix.
watch
good.
the doc, dude.
Oh, speaking of docs, Nick Way, you guys didn't come out on. You came out on Friday, right?
I didn't.
did.
You were
I
not. Kevin was there. Thanks for coming out. That was really fun.
It was super fun.
It was really cool.
That was really cool. So for those of you that don't know, last Friday was our, I want to say, second to last screening of Waiting for the Punchline publicly. I think we got another smaller screening coming up later this month in SF that I haven't finalized yet, but I think it's going to be at Mutiny Radio, which is this cool like crazy fucking radio station in the mission.
It was.
Is that the thing that's in the doc?
Yeah, it's in the doc. So Pam reached out, who runs Mutiny Radio, and was like, "Hey, if you want to screen this here, we have an opening on June 28th, I believe. So I'm going to see if that works out. As of right now, we're planning it, but it's very, very
Do
small.
they have a theater?
No, they'll just project it onto the wall.
Oh, cool.
That's dope.
It's Mutiny Radio, and then like we'll do a show either before or afterward. It's all on the radio, so it's all going to like stream, which is super crazy and weird and fun.
Will the older woman in the doc be there?
No, I have not seen her since.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I know that was fun. But
sad. That's really
for
sad.
people who don't know, we got into SF Doc Fest, which is a part of Indie Fest, and I was able to do a little bit of a show beforehand for about 30 or 40 people. I think it was like 30 people were there. And there would have been more, but they didn't know we were in the back room because I forgot to tell people.
Yeah.
And then we screened it, and I think it went a lot better than Montana.
Really?
People laughed. People were drunk. It was great. That's how comedy should be. Montana was the worst. It's a great film festival, and the people that run it are amazing, but it was the worst environment for comedy that I've ever seen. It's fucking freezing outside. Everyone's tired from just dealing with the cold. There's no cocktails. You're not. There's a reason why there's a 2-drink minimum.
Prohibition in Montana?
Pretty
my
much,
gosh.
yeah. Except weed's everywhere. Actually, was weed everywhere? Maybe I'm thinking Colorado.
We definitely think Colorado.
Yeah, definitely. There's a reason why there's a 2-drink minimum at most clubs. One, because the club wants to actually make money. But two, and more importantly for the comedians, is that if you get your 2 drinks first, you get a little sloshed beforehand, and you're just a little bit more loose when the comedy comes. I'm not saying it makes me funnier, but it makes me a lot funnier if you're hammered.
No, I don't think it makes you funnier. It makes them more willing to laugh.
Yeah.
You're more susceptible to the humor, and you're more open to it, because if I say something that might be potentially triggering for you, and you've had a couple cocktails, your subconscious is more willing to let that slide. Like, oh, Nick's talking about that, whatever. This is fucking fun. I'm having a great time. So that was, I think, one of the benefits of the SF show, was that a bunch of people in there had already had a couple cocktails, and then of course it's just, we're in SF. You're sitting in the theater that's featured in the documentary. You see me, the very first shot is me walking underneath the lights of the Roxy Theater. It's a cool historic theater and in the Mission, and we did a show 2 blocks down, or half a block down, at Delirium, which was also in the doc. It was a super fun night. It was a very fun night to me, so I didn't want to let that go and get lost in all the E3 stuff. I want to say thanks to you guys and to everyone that came out, because that was a really, really nice, like, sort of icing on the cake that has been this really, really cool project to be a part of.
Crushed it.
I had a lot of stuff going on that night, Nick.
What food did you order in on Postmates? Are you playing Apex? You streaming Apex, you fucker?
Ordering volcano curry.
I saw something on the subreddit the other day today that kind of made me smile a lot. Greg did this whole EA Play thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I killed it.
And Shroud, one of the biggest streamers ever.
I've heard of him.
Right?
Yeah.
Was reacting along to doing a watch along of the EA Play. And
does EA make Apex?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But he was also, they were also showing off Jedi Fallen Order and everything.
Sure, but I just
The
assume
Sims.
that.
Yeah, it was so cool. I know, granted, Shroud has worked with Greg before. He worked with him at the Walking Dead thing.
I think he also, I think if I'm not mistaken, we've worked with Shroud's wife as well.
No, that's
Ninja's
Ninja's
wife.
That's Ninja's wife.
Yeah.
Never mind, I'm sorry.
It was so cool to see people in chat say like, "Oh, cringe," or "Oh, this fucking host sucks," and Shroud being like, "What are you talking about? Like, this host is running the show and he's kicking ass." Like,
Yeah.
it was so cool to see like Kind of Funny get recognized on that level because of EA Play was kind of a big deal, and they're showing off brand new Star Wars footage.
I told Greg to steal that LED screen, but he never listens to me. I was like, put that shit in your fucking pocket, bro, because that whole set looks amazing.
Imagine if you had the pin particles.
Yeah,
my
just shrink
gosh.
it.
What would
bring it back with you.
What would you? Before we, I don't want to go into these crazy hypotheticals, because I just want to continue talking about how cool it was to be recognized by Shroud. What's up?
Yeah.
It's so hard to take notes in this show.
Let's go back to talking about.
But
Kevin
anyway,
Foley.
yeah. So people, were that they cut to later on after the press conference when the press conference was about to end, and he was like reading chat. He's like, "What are you talking about? The host is bad." He's like, clearly these two guys, like, and it was Stig and
What's his name?
yeah, fucking.
We get it.
I can't remember his name.
Can't either.
From
going.
from
Figure
where?
it out.
From EA Plays?
I can see his face.
Yeah, I could see his goddamn play. Vince Zampella.
There we go.
So it was Stig and Zampella, on stage. And he was like, clearly, these two guys can't really talk a whole lot about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order because there's a lot of shit that can't be answered.
Right.
He was like, but like Greg is carrying the show. Like he's kicking ass. Like you guys are idiots for thinking he's a bad host or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like super cool to see that
And
recognition.
he opens even before chat is like talking shit of like Greg Miller owns. Like, yeah, he does. Thanks, Shroud.
Yeah,
Super cool.
the thing about Greg that a lot of people don't understand. I mean, say what you will about him. He's a monster.
He sucks.
Greg
He
sucks.
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You could have gone positive on this.
Just the absolute worst. It makes most of our lives a living hell. But he is a phenomenal host. He is phenomenal at what he does, to the point where, like, I don't know too many other people that can do that in this industry on that level. In fact, there's only a handful of them, and most of them work with us. You know, like Andrea's a phenomenal host as well. I would put her on the same level. There's that Carboni guy that I see every once in a while, but
So cool.
fuck, his hair's like peppery now.
Oh,
it's
really?
getting gray. Yeah, I watched the
But
Star Wars
looks
show for the first
cooler?
time. I was like, God, man, damn, you look so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's hard though. It's hard to make that look easy. Like it took me a long time to be able to host a podcast and have the confidence to actually like helm a podcast and get us in and out of ad rates and things like that. That's stressful enough. Think about that with actual people watching. Like that would be be scary. And not only watching, but they're watching live.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like
So
not
80,000
only are
people
you-
watching,
yeah,
and
you've
there's
got-
people there too.
You know,
Yeah.
when they hosted the Final Fantasy thing, when Tim and Greg hosted Final Fantasy, that fucking auditorium was packed.
Yeah.
It was the
I was
Dorothy
there, man.
Chandler Pavilion. It's like 3,000 seats in that thing. That's not easy. Especially like, it's easier, I think, to go up there with nothing to say and just screw around and play a game than it is to actually have to hit beats and actually have to drive something forward. And then you got someone in your ear going, okay, wrap it up in 30 seconds. And you have to throw it to whatever sponsored message you might have. Like that shit it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and it is a skill that you have to train for a long period of time. So kudos to Greg for that,
Yeah.
and to Tim, because Tim's pretty good at it too. But yeah, that's awesome. So Shroud basically knows who we are and is a huge fan of us. Is what I'm taking away from this.
Giant fan. Huge
Watches
fan.
everything. Loves
Greg
KFA.
How do we
Loves
get
KFA, yeah.
How do we get Shroud to push like
To
a
do We
third
Have
of his
Cool Friends?
audience to one of our live streams?
really cool.
That'd be dope.
Be
Like when we're
really
streaming
cool.
KFAF. Just what do they call that? When you
Rated?
rate it. Yeah, when you raid someone's
Oh,
stream.
right.
How do we get him to consistently rate our stuff on Twitch? Would that be cool?
I don't know.
I think we have to start by like playing games.
Oh, Joey, that's already too hard.
I know.
We're already saying. Well, Andy used to Twitch stream, right? Sometimes at night.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be homies with this guy. He sounds like a pretty cool guy. He's
Well,
one
I
of
mean,
the
Greg's
top
already
Twitch-
mentioned like I want to try to get him on We Have Cool Friends.
That'd be
really
huge.
cool.
So
Yeah.
cool.
That'd be really good. That's obviously the power of that show is that, you know, people, we've heard you. Everyone wants just the shenanigans for this show. But We Have Cool Friends. I'm interested to see how many people we can pull for that. Because we came out of the gate pretty strong.
I think
with
it'd be one
Devin.
of those things where Greg has to go over there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
he in
Who
LA?
cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't
He-
matter.
yeah.
We can go to the Shroud House or
Shroud
whatever
just
it is.
seems like very much
Shroud
like
House?
Jake.
Doesn't he live in one of those houses?
He sounds like
Oh, Jake Johnson.
he's very much like Jake Johnson from what I've seen of just like
I'm
all
just
I do
home.
is wake up and I play games and that's it. Like I don't really.
He was at Shroud's at E3 today, so he like leaves his house.
Yeah, it's like
on
a
occasion.
paid. You know, it's probably a paid opportunity or something like that.
Damn, he's
Maybe.
never gonna be your friend now.
No, but I get it. Look at. I obviously get it. I probably could have pushed to go to E3, and I was like, "Is there a real good reason for me to be there?" Nope, I'm not leaving my fucking house.
Did you,
You
not
get-
actively push to not go?
Some would say that. That might be how history went. Where I was like, I just don't want to
Who
go.
can say?
But no, I totally understand. I sympathize with guys like that because, like, I mean, think about this: he probably streams every day.
Yeah.
Right. Does he live in one of those cool 100 Thief houses?
No, he lives in his own like giant mansion.
He's not a part of that team.
There's
No.
a no.
That's Courage.
No, he's his own. He's his own entity.
Yeah, we'll just go to his mansion and set
I don't
up some
think
mics.
he's even
and
signed to a team, huh?
That'd be good.
Or
He doesn't
a
need it.
org.
Not with an orc.
I wouldn't. If I was like, I wouldn't be competitive in anything if I was making that much money. Just do my own thing. Hell yeah.
And I guess like for every day you're not streaming because you're traveling or going somewhere else, you're not making money. So.
Yeah, they'd have to
And
pay you.
and you're also just losing that sub count. You're losing that audience.
Yeah, for him, I think it's
Fredo's always mentioned this before, where he, you know, that the life of a full-time streamer can be scary because you're risking losing audience. You're risking. I'm going to my parents for a week. You know, what is that going to do to my sub count? I'm going to lose out. You know, this is my income. This is my income.
That's
you know?
everything, though. That's why. I mean, that's a real life thing that we deal with every day, right? There's the reason. I mean, all kidding aside, part of the reason I did stay back was because we wanted to do the regular shows that we do in the morning. I enjoy doing them. I love doing KFAF. I love doing Internet Explorers, and me and Kevin have a blast on Screencast. I'm sure you'll join this week because we'll rope you into that. But that's the thing. Like, if we didn't, we would have lost out on a week's worth of revenue for that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the reality of the trade is that you always have to be producing content, right? ABCs. Always be making content.
Always be coming.
Always be contenting.
Always be coming.
Always be coming onto your YouTube channel. Come on to my YouTube channel. No, but we should brainstorm people we want for We Have Cool Friends. Because I did already.
I
did, but like, I don't feel good about my list. I don't think I shot
I
high
brainstormed a
enough.
lot of people for other people to interview.
Did you?
I did.
Who did you brainstorm for me to interview?
So one of my dream guests or pair of guests to have on is the girls from My Favorite Murder.
Oh, yeah.
That podcast.
That would be really
And Karen's
cool.
whole thing, she's a stand-up comic. That's like her whole background.
Yeah.
So I think that you would be really good on that to like ask her about that side of things.
Oh, I would love that. I love talking to anyone that's a comic that also does podcasts. Because there's so much crossover in what we do. Obviously, me trying to be a comic, but like people who are real comics who actually like tour and have followings and can pack out rooms. I'm so jealous of that. I think it's so fucking cool. Yeah. That's my goal one day, is to be able to get like 100 people in any room in any city once or twice on the weekend. Like I want to get that big. I think that'd be so fucking cool. Because it's like it's just so like, even just the difference of, because I did Sacramento Laughs Unlimited on Thursday.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It's really fun. And it's really fun because I walked in, there was no one there. First 5 people I saw were best friends.
Oh, nice.
And they were awesome. There's
Shout out
a
to
couple of them
Snapchat
are on my
best
Instagram if you guys want to see them.
I do want to see them.
It was super fun. And then, lo and behold, 10 minutes before showtime, I peek out and there's like 150 people in the audience.
Oh, hey.
And 150 people in a comedy audience, in a comedy club, are there to fucking party. They came out on a Thursday night. They're there to have a good time. And they were what we like to call wet. This audience was wanting it.
Whoa.
And it was fun. Now, they were just a very lively audience. It was very, very fun. But that's the difference. Like anytime you can do that, with people coming out to see you, it's more fun.
Yeah. Then
you don't have to work for the audience. You don't have to prove to them that you're worth their time. Like tomorrow's Cobb show, I'm sure we'll have a few people out, but the majority of the audience is not going to know who the fuck I am. And it's going to be an uphill fight the entire time. And that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. At least Cobb's, though, is like a comedy club, so people know what they're signing up for.
Yeah,
versus
they know
I
what
feel
they're
like a lot of the
getting into.
showcases, it's a lot of people that are just at a bar and don't necessarily know that comedy's happening.
So,
right?
Exactly. Most of the time, like Delirium, that's what it is. We were at that bar. It was so cool, but there was the freaking Warrior game.
It was packed.
Finals game, like fucking 4 was happening that night. And so they put us in the back room. We had like 30 people in the back room. There was like 40 people, 50 people in the bar. And they couldn't give a shit about stand-up comedy. I tried. I tried to get them to come back. They're like, I'm watching the fucking Warriors game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's pretty
See,
important.
my least favorite type of comedy is what I call surprise comedy. Hey, surprise, there's comedy. I'm going to start making fun of you, sir, because you're the only person sitting in the bar. Who else did you have for us to interview?
So my like big ask that I think would be really fun, and I don't know how we can figure this out, but I want to have us collab with the Try Guys, who are out of BuzzFeed, because I feel like there's really good, like, I think it'd be fun to have match you guys up with one of them and do one-on-one interviews of like Greg and Keith are very similar, and
it would
like
be
have
fun.
them go back and forth and split you all up like that,
I'd
or
love
do
that.
some collab stuff. They like, most of them like gaming stuff, so I feel like we have that in common.
I feel like that'd be a fun one for a crossover.
Yeah.
Where they send us one of their guys and we send them Andy. And then Andy has to like do stuff that he hates doing, like
mac
try
and cheese.
Be in a
mac
room
and
with a cat.
cheese. Be in a room, rub a cat on your face and see what happens. Just shit like that. They're not the Try Guys aren't the guys that do the trick shots, right? That's what
Dude
is it?
Perfect.
Dude Perfect.
Yeah.
Try Guys are the guys that just go out and do shit,
try
right?
stuff.
Yeah. That's a great.
Yeah,
what a
they
fucking
came out of
life.
BuzzFeed.
Me
What
and
a life
Brian
those guys
Riley
made.
Yeah.
from Rooster Teeth wanted to make our own version of Dude Perfect called Flawless Fella.
A little bit of a rip
What
off
a
there.
rip, man.
Yeah, and it was just, but then Achievement Hunters fucking doing the same shit me and Brian were doing 3 years ago, throwing balls off the wall into hoops and shit. Like, we fucking started that.
You did not start that.
Cheerball.
They're gonna be hearing from my fucking lawyers.
Kevin, prepare the cease and
this-
desist.
I got it written.
This came before Chairball. Yeah, and I have like all these videos of like.
When are we gonna play chairball on KFAF?
You threw out the chair.
Oh, we did.
I
'Cause we
still
kept
have-
digging into the wall.
I still have some at my house.
We could do it right here.
Let's do it at Joey's house.
Set up a chair right here.
Oh, my apartment is so small.
That'll be the joke.
My apartment is so small.
We'll get 20 people over. That'll be the fun. That'll be the fun of
My
it.
apartment with its furniture is probably like the back half of this room.
Speaking of small,
Where are you going with this?
Anyway.
no, I was going to mention
Anyway's
the
great.
topic earlier. Like, if you had the power of the Pym particles,
Pin particle power.
and you could only make one thing super, super, super fucking tiny, for like portability's sake, right, or for whatever sake, what would you make it? What would it
really
be?
small.
But you can make it small whenever you wanted.
Yeah.
My car. I'd never have to worry about parking again.
Yeah.
that'd
I
be
was.
pretty
Put that
cool.
bitch in my pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go with car in San Francisco, because then I mean, I think I pay an extra $300 a month for a parking spot. If I could just take my car into the apartment with me, that'd be dope. And then you do that cool thing where you throw it out and shoot it, and as it lands, it goes big, like they did
that's
it,
cool.
like they did in Ant-Man 2.
Yeah.
That was real fun.
It's got to be real bad for the like suspension and
Yeah, you
the
might want to
shocks.
that's a good point.
Yeah,
You put it
yeah,
on
yeah.
the
Place
ground.
it
You
down.
want to place it down.
Yeah,
definitely.
don't want to toss it and like land upside down or something like that.
I feel like practicality speaking, you either got to go with car or like a big suitcase. Because think about how much money you'd save,
Oh, that's great.
like not having to
Wow, that's
deal with
really
anything,
smart.
right? Take all your shit, but do a suitcase the size of this table, right? Put it all in there, shrink it down to something, put it in your pocket. Good luck, Mr. X-Ray man. Try getting that fucking minute detail. What's up, Barrett?
You just woke up from a nap or what?
Hold on. Is your mic? Are you using the mic?
Yeah, he's using the mic.
Sorry.
Get that shock mic on.
Is it up?
Yep.
Not for portability's sake, but I feel like this would, someone who's in power to shrink them down, they would lose all of their following because no one wants to follow someone who's really tiny.
Yeah.
Would be Donald Trump.
That's fair, but here's the thing.
And
What's
you
up?
have to deal with
We
a tiny
love
Donald Trump.
things that are small and cute, and a tiny Trump might be too cute for, you know what I mean?
No.
Like
Nah.
think about a Trump this big, you could toss his little hair.
No, I'm not
mean,
talking
it's like-
about like that big.
You're
I'm
talking
talking
about,
about like tiny.
Oh,
like
tiny
you'd have
Trump?
to get like a tiny camera for him to
Yeah.
do a press conference, and no one would take him seriously.
Microscopic
Yeah, but
cameras.
then people
Well,
would
take him
feel bad about it, and his base would just radicalize, and they'd be like, "They shrunk him down. They
Yeah.
took a job.
I would
They
want.
shrunk him down."
Yeah,
I was in the
would
South
want
Park there, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Speaking of which,
Stop
sorry,
switching topics.
It
I want to
doesn't
finish
matter.
it first. I would like to shrink down a little dog or maybe a raccoon so I could always have a little pet. That would be really
Joey,
cool.
you're thinking too small. Or
Pig.
little tiger.
little elephants.
little elf.
Little
No, yeah,
elf.
little
but I would
giraffes.
I would
A
just
little
want to leave
giraffe
them
would be
little
cool.
all the time.
Yeah.
You
that's
know,
fun, but
like
that's,
a whole
that's
little,
an
like,
option.
like maybe I just want like a whole little mini zoo.
They're
in
not
my
going to know the
pocket.
difference. Animals are dumb. You're going to keep it as a
or-
pet and feed it anyway. That's not going
Or
to need
maybe
to
a
hunt.
bed, so I could just like sleep anywhere.
Yeah,
take
I
a
was,
little
take
I
nap.
was
your bed.
thinking of the same thing. I was thinking like, I love my queen size, but it's just like
Takes up a lot of room.
it takes up a lot of room in my smaller ass room. So I'd maybe.
But the thing is, you got to make it bigger and put it somewhere, So you're going to have to eventually make it bigger to sleep in your room.
yeah, but
But
then
if you have it, I guess, in the middle, it's not a big deal.
I don't know, man. I
would
guess
you ever
maybe
get one of those like flippy uppy Murphy beds?
I would love one of those. One of my favorite things to do, Kevin, and maybe you could look
yeah.
this up while we're talking.
Breakdance.
All right.
Maybe we could look this up while we're
Do I need to
talking.
clear the table?
Is this a pin particle thing?
Looking up all of the, it's not pin particle related,
Fuck you.
but looking up really cool Swedish transforming, is that the word I'm looking for?
Sure. I don't know.
Transforming furniture.
Yeah.
Where it is like Murphy bed style. It is
Do you
like
watch the YouTube videos?
desks popping out of walls.
I want a tiny house or a tiny
things
apartment
turning
so
into
bad.
all sorts of cool things. Like this shit would really be awesome. And man, my legs are so sweaty. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, there you go, Kevin.
Wait, what's this?
Oh, that
Ten.
table is
Unbelievable.
so cool.
What is this cool table?
So this is like transforming furniture that like becomes
Oh, yeah.
bigger.
What's
The
up?
stuff is so genius, dude.
So my guiltiest pleasure in life is watching all of the like tiny house stuff on YouTube
that's fun.
and seeing how they use all the spaces and get all this cool ass
Look at
furniture.
that shit, dude. And it
love
makes
it.
like a seamless sort of product, but that's how it looks on the top left.
Man,
Have you
scan
guys-
There's
thing
one that
design,
has like
bro.
a star that spins out that's
Yeah,
super
the-
cool that's round.
I want to see the
right?
star. Kevin, find us the star.
You talking about the cruise boat thing?
I was gonna say just
I
keep
don't
fast
know.
forwarding through that. I don't know. I wanted to
I don't
see
know
the
if it's
rest
a
of
we
it.
cruise
probably shouldn't
boat
be watching
specific.
someone else's video for that long. you
No,
know?
it's
What?
fine.
The
It's
two
either,
people
it
do
either
it
got
on Twitch
claimed
all
or
the
not.
fucking time.
We're not on Twitch, though.
Mr. Bucket
It's
Man. You know?
true.
We're not gonna get claimed.
No,
man.
they're fine. We're helping to sell furniture. I love that. There was a while where I was trying to, when we were furnishing my apartment, when my wife and I got married, we looked at stuff like that, like one of the cool tables, like they just showed that like pulls out, like at Design Within Reach or one of those places. I'm like, this is fucking dope. They're expensive though. And then I'm like,
They're
is
so
it really
cool.
gonna last that long?
This
You know?
table, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen this
Oh
one.
my god.
cruise boat.
So that is that what it is?
Yeah.
What?
And it spins
What?
out.
And then it clicks in.
and then
That's
it's
so cool.
Oh, look at
Shut
that.
The front door.
I mean,
It
it's
just
really
disappears.
low quality. You could probably see the lines really.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
it'd be a cool pattern. It would just make a cool pattern.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Look how
So
cool
Not
that is.
saving that much space on this though.
No, but you're adding. That's not really for space. It's for people.
Yeah.
But what
you
I'm
could go
saying
from having
is-
I
8
think
people
this
to
is-
like 12
Yeah.
people around that table.
What I'm saying is, why not just have 12 people on the table? Just keep it
because
out.
it's a cruise. Maybe you want to transform it for different stuff. You
What,
know,
like shuffleboard?
This is like
Yeah.
a millionaire.
You got me.
A billionaire.
Like,
this is a yacht.
Here's the thing:
Yeah.
if you have this giant table, you don't want 3 people at this giant ass table. Put them at the smaller table.
I would want all that space for myself.
Wait, to go back to the pin particle thing.
Yeah.
Nick, I think you're really onto something. I would have like a big
Dresser drawer.
dresser drawer that I just keep hella shit in.
Yeah.
And then
or a
I
giant toolbox.
yeah, but like why not both?
It's
you
kind of
know?
like your junk drawer
yeah,
sort of thing.
And where it's like, oh, if I need a
But
tool,
Kevin would want it organized.
throw it out. Oh, it would be super organized.
Dude,
It
I would
be
love to
crazy.
not have my dresser drawer or like all the stuff just takes up space. And like my room is kind of tiny, right? But I have my table that I bought for like my streaming and just for computer shit or whatever with 2 giant ass monitors on them. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'd have to go with dresser drawers and shit like that because that's taking up the most space. It's a big chunk, and I could just throw everything from my closet in there too. You know what I mean? Closet would be free.
Yeah.
My closet's a fucking mess, dude. My closet is just like a bunch of Amazon boxes.
Why
Empty.
do you not break them down?
You gotta break
Life
them.
happens, Joe.
It's true. Plus, you never know when you're gonna need to fall into them, and you don't want to set them back up.
Right.
I have one
Like
more.
if I'm on the roof and I have to fall through the
Yeah.
roof because like a criminal chasing
drug
me.
dealers.
What?
Drug dealers.
Drug dealers chasing me.
Or like a gang of raccoons.
Gang of raccoons.
Oh man, it's too real, guys.
I've got one more thing I would shrink, but you're gonna have to wait to the post show, ladies and gentlemen, to
Really?
hear that. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm leaving it on a
Wow,
cliffhanger.
that
This
cliffhanger.
has been the Kind of Funny podcast for this week. Gentlemen and lady, thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you want to get out there and hear our post shows, you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny and back us at that tier. We got lots of different tiers. Every dollar you have out there helps. Really, really does. This year, of course, we did a world tour that's going to end in London. We funded that thing. Very, very excited to go to London. It's been awesome seeing everyone. But your continued support means the world to us. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube and you just happen by this because we have a really snappy title that will either be something about E3 or the Pim particle,
Both.
make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on that little notification because we want you to hear everything we got to say. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen out there, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
Bye.
Bye.